Hey, hello again from Flip Turn Farm. Jeff Allen here with another installment of our project that I think is going to be a game changer for coaches of every level. First, wanted to thank you all for your valuable input and watching our video and sharing your comments with us. We really appreciate that. Please stay tuned because there'll be a video added at the end of this, and look forward to sharing what we're working on and giving you some valuable insight to the program we're putting together. In addition, we're going to give you a very simple tool and evaluation process to identify where a weakness that many swimmers have, and you'll be amazed at how simple it is to measure your entire squad, and then how easy it is to fix. So stay tuned for that, because I think it's going to be very insightful and beneficial for every swimmer on your team. As you can see, my Pyrenees Annie is as excited about the course that we're putting together with the all-star speakers as much as I am. And so stay tuned to learn more as this video continues and gives you valuable insight to what we're doing. So in the first video, I talked briefly about a course we've been working on putting together for swim coaches. As a quick description, it's intended to help connect the dots between understanding what your swimmers are good at or not good at on land, and how that impacts their swimming technique and potential in the pool. Most of the course is taught by a variety of top-level experts, including some from professional teams and sports federations, along with some swimming coaches and experts you may be familiar with. And I know coaches can be skeptics. Kind of kidding there. Know that this isn't a money grab for us. We believe in spreading this knowledge and expertise to coaches. Approximately 90% of the course fee, which is a bargain already, goes to the promoters of the course, not to us. You'll find out the details of the course itself, and the next video comes out in a couple of days. And just a quick reminder, if you didn't see the first video, my name is Jeff Allen. As a coach for 34 years, inducted into the Rhode Island Aquatic Hall of Fame, worked for USA Swimming as the Eastern Zone sport consultant, and have been involved in many national committees, and the creator of the Facebook Swim Coaches Idea Exchange Group. So I've committed my life to helping my athletes, but also other athletes and coaches get better. So before we get to the exercise that I talked about earlier, I wanted to share a case study with you. What we've identified is a way to increase an athlete's athleticism, which in many cases is the missing link between good and great, or great and even better. And so I want to talk about this. We have a swimmer who spent 4 years swimming in college, was a national level swimmer, NCAA qualifier, went to one of the best swimming schools and swim for some of the best coaches and Olympic coaches on our team, and never got better and just struggled. I'll give you an example. He went 150 point long course 200 freestyle for 4 years and never got better. It's a great story that emphasizes the impact of finding the weakness in the body, doing corrective exercises, and then building the swimming stroke on top of that. Case study: athlete in the 20s who went top swimming school, swam for some of the best coaches in the world, went on 150 long course freestyle, came out at the same speed. 4 years later, didn't get faster. So we took the basic strategy to find out if there was something wrong with his body, his athleticism, his athletic foundation, to see if that would break out of the rut. Found that one side of his body, the breathing side, his right side, was weak and not firing all the muscles. He had a severe imbalance that caused the body to collapse on the right side while swimming freestyle, especially when he took a breath, which did a couple of things. First, it pulled his head out of line over to the right, which also made his breathing timing late. We've all seen that before, right? And because of that, that meant his non-breathing arm, his left arm, was not able to catch on the beginning of the non-breathing stroke. So he was collapsing out of line, pulling his head, breathing late, and missing the catch on his non-breathing side. After finding the weaknesses, an exercise curriculum was developed and refined every month that targeted fixing the weakness in the side and getting the correct muscles to fire. When I say refined, it means he was retested and determined his body strength and weaknesses. Then the exercises to fix them were adapted to the changes. So we identified the problem and then set up a plan to address the problem and increase those weaknesses into strengths. So once we
were able to figure out the strength deficiencies and get the athlete on a program to identify those deficiencies, what happened is his stroke started to improve. And he knew his strokes needed to improve because he could feel it, and he knew he could keep his stroke together when he was swimming slow. But training in high speeds and racing, the muscle deficiency just caused his technique to become inefficient, and therefore he couldn't improve. So by correcting his technique, we were able to do some work on land that directly impacted his technique and success in the water. And remember, he spent 4 years at a top university and could not break 150 in the 200 freestyle. Once he identified the strength weaknesses, did the work to correct them, made the technique changes in the pool because now he was strong enough to hold those techniques, he dropped 3 seconds in 4.5 months. He knew what he had to do, he figured out what he had to do, he got the resources, and ended up making the Olympic team. Now, what's really unique about this is this isn't just for world-class athletes. Every coach in this country has athletes that can benefit from this program, this insight, and these corrections. I don't know of any athlete from Michael Phelps on down that had I told you I had a hard time talking. Any athlete who had perfect symmetry in terms of strength training, whether it was Michael Phelps or anybody. And we've seen underwater pictures of people reaching for the wall and the right hand is in front of the left hand because they don't have the flexibility. So what's really nice about this is this could work for your athletes trying to make sectionals, futures, juniors, even the local LSC meet. And the sooner you identify it, the quicker they can have great technique. And the quicker they have great technique and then able to train that way, they're elevating their success, and most importantly, their athleticism. They're going to reach levels that they never thought they could reach. So it's really important. Now I'm hoping all of you had a chance to go back and do the test that we talked about in the last video. And I'd really like to hear about how that went. Thanks so much. Bye.
So here on Flip Turn Farm, we have some bees. You can see there are 6 beehives. We do have honey. And right below us, and I'm standing right next to them, I do not have a bee suit on. I'm feeding the bees sugar water 1-to-1. This is so they can have enough food to get through the winter, so I have bees in the summer. So I thought you might be interested in this. Honey bees are very tame. They really only sting you when you invade their privacy, like going into a beehive in the middle of the night or early morning. I don't recommend it. Or if they're queenless, and sometimes they can be a little, we call that a hot hive. And I've actually had bees waiting for me outside to sting me. So the sad thing about honeybees is once they sting you, they die. Unlike yellow jackets that are really mean, they sting you for the fun of it. So that being said, the course is taught by several experts. So here on Flip Turn Farm, we have some bees. You can see there are 6 beehives. We do have honey. And right below us, and I'm standing right next to them, I do not have a bee suit on. I'm feeding the bees sugar water 1-to-1. This is so they can have enough food to get through the winter, so I have bees in the summer. So I thought you might be interested in this. Honey bees are very tame. They really only sting you when you invade their privacy, like going into a beehive in the middle of the night or early morning. I don't recommend it. Or if they're queenless, and sometimes they can be a little, we call that a hot hive. And I've actually had bees waiting for me outside to sting me. So the sad thing about honeybees is once they sting you, they die. Unlike yellow jackets that are really mean, they sting you for the fun of it. So that being said, oh yeah, at the beginning of this video, I promised you that I would give you something simple you can try today. Now that you understand the power of finding the weakness and correcting the weakness, getting the muscles to fire properly so they can swim better, I'll give you one simple test you can do with your athletes right now. Before I tell you, this is a simple test, but it doesn't mean that it's easy for all of your swimmers. If you're coaching a top university, you may have some swimmers who struggle with this test. It is great because it is simple. It is a simple clue on what to do with them to help them get faster. But generally, the more developed, that doesn't mean slower in experience, the more developmental the swimmers you coach, there will be more swimmers who aren't good at this test. And the more you tend to coach elite level swimmers, you'll have less swimmers who aren't good at this. I will challenge that unless you are coaching a group filled with Olympic medalists, you'll have at least a couple of swimmers who can't do it. Many of you will have a majority of swimmers who can't do it. So the challenge is, does anyone have a full group they can do this test with? Leave your comments under the video of approximately what percentage of your swimmers can do this successfully, and include age and experience to be fair. We'll all learn a lot from those comments. So here's a simple test, quick cord test. Number one, first of all, ask the swimmers if you can do that with them. Put your finger between shoulder blades directly behind the heart. Number two, one finger on the muscle on either side of the spine. And number three, tell them to fire that muscle without moving the shoulder blades. One important last thing on that test, if the majority of your swimmers can't do it, don't get down. That's great news. That means you have some very easy, very impactful things you can do to get them to be more athletic, to swim with better technique, and to swim a lot faster. So we're preparing our next video, and I just wanted to kind of give you some idea for that. So you heard about the freestyler, so you understand how big an impact transforming athleticism, finding physical weakness, and correcting the problem has on performance, completely changing a performance level even after years of not getting better. And you get a test to try on your swimmers. Even if you don't try it, you can kind of understand that if they can't fire that muscle, it means there's something really significantly missing in that swimmer's ability to manage their body and have the potential to swim faster and have much higher potential. In the next video, which comes out shortly, you'll get a glimpse of how getting a deeper understanding of gaining the skill of executing the strategy coupled with a couple others can completely transform not just your swimmer, but your coaching career. It opens a door to finding and building success anywhere, regardless of what the talent you have or if you have limited resources. You become in charge of your success and your future. Imagine those things that you think may be beyond your capabilities, whether it's belief in what you can do or that you didn't have the silver stopwatch opportunity. You can rewrite the success. If that sounds interesting, watch the next video shortly. Please add your questions or comments below. Share with friends, coaches in the triathlon or masters community. It helps them and their swimmers too. High school and summer league coaches as well. Share with them. You don't need any big resources to integrate this stuff. And speaking of sharing, if you have a following with coaches and are interested in getting rewarded for promoting this course, that will do a lot of good for coaching friends, send me a direct message and we'll decide if it makes sense. Remember, approximately 90% of the fee goes to those who are promoting the course, not us. Lastly, go test your swimmers. Come back and tell us approximate percentage of what swimmers can fire that muscle in the back and who can't. Include average age range and experience too, so we have an idea. And remember, if they aren't great at it in a way, that's good news. That means you'll be able to make a huge impact on their athleticism and performance. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for our next video shortly. And if you got something out of our video, please like and share.